What's happening, everybody? I appreciate you checking in. All right, throughout this week, we've had multiple free agent signings pop up, but there's definitely two that I want to talk about in this video. Both addresses our offensive line, and one I'm extremely excited about, and the other I got a lot of question marks, and we're definitely going to tap into that and check that one out. So let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about our offensive line as it stands right now. Do you think we need to go get a good guard in the draft or free agency? Are you good with possibly DJ Glaze being the right tackle? He did very well to the tail end of last year. And so let me know in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts on our current offensive line, and what do you want to see changes? What changes do you want to see possibly happen again, either through free agency or the draft? Let me know in the comment section down below. And before we get into it, if you can, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn those notifications. My next giveaway is at 4,500 subscribers. So if you want to be included in that, hit that subscribe button. Again, just my way of saying thank you and showing my appreciation. But also, I do go live on Tuesdays and Sundays, my opportunity just to kind of chop it up with you in the chat and kind of elaborate a little bit more on the videos that I do drop. So hit that notification bell so you do know when I go live and I drop more content. And so let's kind of get into it. First and foremost, I'll go ahead and share my screen. The first one I'm very excited about. So it was announced earlier in the week that we have re-signed Jordan Meredith to a 1-year, $1.05 million contract. And so I'm extremely excited for Jordan Meredith to come back. I actually was excited for him when we re-signed him last year. When we did re-sign him, I thought he was just going to be a solid backup. And then as we signed up, as we hired a new offensive coordinator, and I saw how our offensive line was starting to look with bringing guys in, signing free agents, so on and so forth. After that Cowboys preseason game, I knew that Jordan Meredith was a guy that had to compete for the starting position. After watching him perform, and again, the Cowboys played a lot of backups, and so it was really hard to gauge exactly how well he was going to do, but I saw signs that he could potentially, based on what he did the previous year, that he could definitely battle for the starting position. And we really didn't bring in any big names at the guard position. So we brought in Cody Whitehair, which I thought was an absolute mistake. But I thought he was going to be a backup. I thought he was just a veteran presence. He had history with Luke Getsy's system, so I thought he was going to be that veteran that was going to help teach the other offensive linemen. But we ended up starting him, which again, I thought was a horrible decision. I was wondering why Jordan Meredith was not getting the start based on how bad Cody Whitehair was playing the first 2-3 games. And so eventually Jordan Meredith, he got the nod, he got the start, and from that day forward, he got better and better and better. And I'm telling you, I break down film with a couple of my guys here, other guys, The Severe Raider, as well as Protect the Shield podcast. We come on here on Tuesdays during the season. We break down film. And the more and more I broke down film, the more and more I liked Jordan Meredith's play. I mean, he could be an absolute anchor, and I want to see him on the left side. I want to see him next to Colton Miller, next to JPJ at the center position, because I think that's where we had the most success in the run game. And I'm not saying we had a lot of success in the run game, but when we did find some success, it was running behind those three. And so we definitely need to address the other side, the other guard position, and we could talk about that a little bit more later in this video. But I'm extremely excited to see Jordan Meredith come back, and I'm telling you, it is at an absolute steal at just over $1 million for this year. I'm actually shocked that we're able to bring him back for that minimal of a contract. And you can look at what it says there. Meredith allowed 0 sacks and 9 pressures across 575 snaps while being graded as a top 10 guard per PFF. Now, I don't put a lot of merit into what PFF how their grades work, but again, just based on what I saw and the way I broke down film, I saw that Jordan Meredith could easily have been graded as a top 10 guard throughout last season. But he was without question one of the best linemen that we had last year, consistently the moment that he got the starting position. And so again, I'm extremely excited to see Jordan Meredith come back. He's still young. I'd love to see us, maybe if he continues to perform the way he did last year, maybe halfway through this season, hit him with an extension, lock him in for an extra 2 years, and see if we can continue to grow off of his potential. And so I'm extremely excited to see Jordan Meredith come back. Let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about Jordan Meredith returning to the silver and black. And so next, let's jump to the other name that was signed on earlier in the week. And now he's a player that was not on our team last year. But man, I'm going to tell you, a lot of question marks with this one. But let me know in the comment section what you feel about Jordan Meredith. Let's jump into the next one. Now, next one, it was announced earlier in the week that we brought on Alex Cappa. Alex Cappa earlier in the week was released by the Cincinnati Bengals, and we ended up bringing him on for basically a 2-year, $11 million contract. And you can see based on the graph above, I mean, he was dead. It says first in sacks allowed, first in pressures allowed, and first in hurries allowed. So he's basically, you could say, the worst guard in the National Football League last year. Now, he did have a Pro Bowl season. He had very good years back when he was with Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. So there's connections to Tom Brady, there's connections to Spytek. And so maybe they're just hoping that they can get maybe one more good year or two more good years out of him. But you're giving him basically $11 million contract. And I just showed you Jordan Meredith was ranked one of the top guards last year, and we got him back for basically $1 million. To give Alex Cappa $11 million, I think, it is very questionable. I don't like it. I'm just going to say it point blank, period. I'm not a big fan of this. Yes, I hope that it's just a depth piece. I hope that he's just going to come in and kind of give that veteran presence. But based on him being basically dead last, or ranked as probably the worst guard in the National Football League last year, that got substantial playing time. And we all know over the last few years that Cincinnati Bengals offensive line was absolutely horrible. Joe Burrow has been running for his life basically his entire career, and Alex Cappa was on that offensive line. And so to bring him in, this just kind of gives me vibes of Cody Whitehair last year. And again, I was completely against bringing Cody Whitehair, and I hated the fact that he started on our offensive line. But this kind of gives me the same vibes. And so, again, if he's purely a backup, it's a lot of money for a backup. But if he's purely a backup, okay, got it. I'm not a big fan of it. I'd love to see us bring in a solid free agent guard to play next to JPJ and DJ Glaze. If DJ Glaze remains our right tackle, I'd love to see a veteran slotted in right in between DJ Glaze and JPJ. Those are two young offensive linemen that I want to see us slot a veteran in there to help with their development as they grow and as they continue their career in the National Football League. We got to put a veteran there to help them, learn the ropes and the ins and outs of the National Football League. So that's what I'd love to see. Bring in a veteran, pay a little bit more. I love building in the trenches. So pay a little bit more to bring somebody in. But if Alex Cappa ends up being our starting right guard, because Dylan Parham just isn't it. I think Dylan Parham, we got him for one more year, allow him to be the backup, allow him to be on a contract year. And sometimes players do excel in a contract year. But I hope he's just purely a backup. But paying him $11 million for 2 years. Now, again, I believe his guaranteed money is on the front end of the contract. So in year 2, we can walk away from him and we don't incur any dead cap, if I understand his contract correctly. So we can move on from him in his second year without incurring any major hit to the cap. But I want to see us build in the trenches. And to me, I'm not this signing just doesn't make much sense to me, except for the fact that he did have some good years with Tom Brady and he's got some connections to John Spytek when it comes to being with the Buccaneers. And so not a big fan of this move. I think we paid him more than we should have based on his statistics this past year. But again, if you can get a little bit out of what he showed a few years ago, then maybe he can turn into something positive. So let me know in the comment section down below what your thoughts on this signing of Alex Cappa. Now let me go ahead and jump to the big screen. And so again, at the end of the day, I'm extremely excited to see Jordan Meredith come back. I'm excited to see him again. If he continues to produce and he actually grows on what he did last year and the performance that he had last year, I would hope that we'd extend him maybe 2 more years to kind of build on the potential that he's been showing and anchor this offensive line. Because again, I'm huge on building the trenches. So again, appreciate you checking with me or sticking with me. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Turn those notifications. My next giveaway is at 4,500 subscribers. So if you want to be included, hit that subscribe button, but also hit that notification bell. So I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.